So in the last video we learnt about organ systems, and now we're going to look at some of the most common organ systems in the human body. So looking at this diagram here, you can see there are lots and lots of different organs that make up our bodies, and that's true for lots of animals as well. And there are actually at least 10 different organ systems in our body. So there are lots of different jobs that need to be done to make sure that we can survive and that everything goes smoothly. We're going to look at 4 of the main organ systems, and you've probably heard about these even through primary school, and you would have learnt about them in the last few years too. We'll just go over some of the basics. But before that, I'm going to talk about a couple of important concepts whenever we're learning biology. So whenever you're looking at something in biology, you want to consider 2 main things. The structure of what you're looking at. So what is there, what's in the organ system and what makes it up, and also the function. What does that thing do in the living organism? So structure versus function is one of the most important concepts in biology, and you always want to keep it in your mind when you're learning any biological concept. Alright, here are the first 2 systems. The first one here is the digestive system. And let's start with the function. The digestive system, as we probably know, it's there for obtaining nutrients, which we get by eating food. Everyone needs to eat. And by digesting that food, so breaking it down into small parts, and then it can enter our body. And then looking at some of the features, the structure of the digestive system, we have the mouth at the top. Once we eat food, it goes down our esophagus, which is the long tube that leads down to the stomach. And this is where a lot of the food gets broken down by stomach acids and different chemicals. We also have the pancreas and the liver. So the liver is there. The pancreas is hidden in this diagram, but it's behind the stomach. And these create a lot of the enzymes that help break down food in the stomach. Once the food is broken down, it moves into the small intestine. And that's where most of the food gets absorbed into our body for us to use as energy. Then it moves into the large intestine, where a few more bits are absorbed. And then the last part is the rectum and the anus, where the waste food is gotten rid out of the body. So that's the structure and the function of the digestive system. The next system we'll look at here is the respiratory system. This is the system that lets us take in oxygen and get rid of carbon dioxide. So its function we call gas exchange. So the gas that we need, oxygen, comes in and the carbon dioxide goes out. So the main structures are the mouth and the nose for breathing in, the pharynx, which is right at the back of our throat, and that's the little part that opens up to let air go down into our lungs instead of into our stomach, which is not where it needs to go. Then air moves down the trachea into the lungs. The trachea is the windpipe, and the lungs contain alveoli, which are, if we zoom in, they look like small broccoli-shaped features, and the air comes in, and because they're shaped with a lot of surface area, the air can be absorbed into our bloodstream really easily. Okay, the next organ system here is the excretory system. Excretory system. And this is the system that makes urine. And that's really important for removing wastes. Because our cells, every cell in our body makes waste chemicals, and we need to get rid of those wastes. Otherwise they can start causing problems, and they can start poisoning our cells. So urine is actually just us getting rid of wastes from our body. And it does that by filtering the blood. The main organs involved in that are the kidneys. The liver also helps to break down any other dangerous chemicals. And then once the urine has been made and filtered out, it goes to the bladder where it's stored, and then we go to the toilet and it goes out through the urethra. The last system we'll look at here is the circulatory system. We looked at this last video, and a lot of you know what the circulatory system does. It carries blood around our body. And the main reason we have blood is to transport nutrients, so food or chemicals from our food that give us energy, and to transport gases and wastes. So just like the roads in a city, the circulatory system is there to transport and help out lots of other systems. Some of the structures in the circulatory system are the heart, the arteries and the veins. Arteries go away from the heart and veins carry blood back towards the heart. And the capillaries, which are the tiny tubes that connect the arteries and the veins. And the blood itself, which has lots of important cells that live only in the blood. So that was a quick overview of some of the main body systems, or organ systems. And remember, we were thinking about structure and function for each of these systems.